And now a rundown on some of our Alaska news for Thursday, May 18th. The very unpredictable Bogoslof Volcano has erupted again, this time on Tuesday night for a period of about 73 minutes, sent up an ash cloud, and pushed the aviation code into red once again. Alaska lawmakers looking at ending cash subsidies for oil companies, bundling manicurists and vet regulations into a fast-track bill. All of this as they were trying to cram all of the entire 121 days of work into that last day. That driver who hit the bicyclist in Anchorage on Monday apparently charged with driving under the influence. And a relative of the 91-year-old murder suspect says that the shooting was an accident. You heard about that on Sunday. A 91-year-old man shot his 92-year-old wife in the back of the head. Anchorage police say it looked like an execution. There's some evidence at the scene that he may have tampered with evidence, including hiding the murder weapon. Now they're looking at possibly evaluating his mental state. Fairbanks International Airport conducted live fire training exercises last night, and again doing that this evening. So if you're hearing gunshots in that area, that's why. And heroin overdoses have spiked in Anchorage, going up from, I think, 17 last November, up over 34 in the first 2 weeks of May. And that's just the cases where they're using naloxone. That's the life-saving anti-opioid medicine. There are a number of other cases, according to Anchorage Fire, where people are overdosing, but they're not severe enough to have to use naloxone. They're saying they're very thankful that we haven't seen some of these synthetic opioids coming into Alaska yet, but when we do, we're going to see a lot more deaths, because in many cases these synthetic opioids result in instant death because a lot of the things that are mixed in that are not even close to meant for human consumption. The troopers are looking for a Fairbanks man and his two sons who just went missing. They honestly have no clue what happened. The front door of the house was locked. The keys were in the ignition of the car. The car doors were open. Cell phone on the floor of the car. Man and his two sons gone. Anybody knows anything, make sure you let the Fairbanks, either the police or the troopers, know about it. It's happened out along Sheena Hot Springs Road, by the way, about 11 miles out. There was a man arrested in Anchorage in the Beartooth parking lot after an attempted carjacking went wrong. Well, wrong for the attempted carjacker anyway. He pulled a gun on the fellow sitting in the car, and instead of getting out of the car, as he was told to do, the fellow accelerated and drove away. He actually hit a couple of parked cars on his way out, then immediately called police, saying ham and fear for his life. And the police, responding very quickly, found the fellow in the SUV that matched the description, who immediately tried to run. And they picked him up. You can't fix stupid. Down in Juneau, the city has rezoned the field of fireweed, which, of course, got some people all bent out of shape because they liked looking at the pretty flowers. The fellow who has been paying taxes on that land, wanting to develop it, they finally rezoned it so he can develop it. The first thing he's doing is just going to do like a motocross, like a bike track for a couple of years, because it's a placeholder until he can develop it into something that really makes him money. Also, the Alaska boat owner is resurrecting his strip club boat. Remember this, down off the coast of Kodiak? A fellow was basically doing strip club tours, and people got upset about it because of the morality issues involved, and they began to look for anything at all they could charge him with, and they ended up charging him with pollution violations for putting the waste, human waste, into the harbor. Something, by the way, which they're saying is common practice for most of the boats in the harbor. They just singled him out because they didn't like what he was doing with his boat. So now he's holding protests nightly during this summer, starting tonight. And people can go out there and ride onto the boat and watch the exotic dancers for free. And lastly, if you are a fan of Copper River salmon, they are swimming their way toward Anchorage markets this week. The commercial fishing opens today. That means it's likely to hit the open-air farmers markets in Anchorage tomorrow. If you've got that hankering for some Copper River salmon, my mouth is watering just talking about it right now. Head on down there to Anchorage and hit the farmers markets and grab some fresh fish. That's my Alaska news. My commentary today focuses on the idea of fat but fit. Not possible. You'll hear my comment on it if you check that out. And make sure you go to the website, radiofreespeech.com.